Hey everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of Pint Pals Podcast. We are going to be doing a little bit of a shorter episode this week. It's our Thanksgiving beer special, and this week, Nate has decided to grace me with his presence again.
Hi, I'm glad to be back.
I'm glad you are back.
I just want to say I'm glad you didn't forget that I was here, and
I'm getting better.
I do appreciate you announcing on the last one that I wasn't here. So
Of course.
I'm glad my presence is known to you most of the time.
It is harder for me to remember that you're here, but a lot easier for me to realize that you're not.
Hey,
I know. We're what, 45 seconds into the episode and you already told me you hate me.
I start early with it, right? I'd start early with it.
Yeah, that just shows that you're back. Do you want to talk about why you weren't on the last week's episode?
Yeah, so the wife and I went to Las Vegas as part of like an essential workers discount. She got a buy one get one kind of deal,
which I didn't know about.
Which you didn't know about, which I'm very sorry. I think it was given out at her workplace, I don't know.
I work in a grocery store.
Essential workers, but I think you definitely deserve it. So
I work in a grocery store. She is a nurse.
You're still essential. All right. Anyway, we were very careful. I just want to clarify that we were very careful with everything. You know, I wore a respirator on the plane. She wore an N95 mask. When we were there, we were very careful where we went. You know, I mean, there was a lot of people not doing their social distancing there, which was to be expected. But we found ways, and we had to essentially take a whole nother path all the way just to get to our destination, just because it was outside of a club and there was mass amounts of people there without masks. So it was actually funny.
A shame.
The wife, we stopped and the wife was like, "You cannot tell me that there is no COVID in that crowd right there." They were like, "Okay," so we walked away and went around the way. Anyway, while I was there, I had a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. But while I was there, I got the opportunity to stop at a local brewery there, a local craft brewery. It's called Trustworthy Brewing Company. And I don't know if I got to meet. I don't know if she was the owner or not. She didn't. I think she was the owner of that branch there. I can't really say. But she gave me a little bit of insight about how long they've been along. So they've been together for a year, I believe. At the beginning of this year is when they started. So they actually started up right before everything was kind of taking place. So
it's very
impressive. Yeah, it was a really rough time to be starting. So I was very impressed by that and how well they seem to be doing. I mean, the list of craft beers that they had was really good. Unfortunately, we were kind of passing by at the time because it was located in the plaza of the Venetian. I think I said that right. But the beer I got was called Free Association. I think it's one of their seasonal things or limited time beers because I couldn't find it on their website, but I did find it. Luckily, I did take a picture of their menu, and it is a New England IPA. I believe she said hazy.
Well, New England's are hazy, so.
Oh, is that? Okay, so it's instantly okay. Then cool. I'm glad I wasn't just hearing things. But it is a 7.4%, and I gotta tell you, it was really good.
Nice.
I really liked it because it wasn't really hoppy and strong in that sense. Like
was it more juicy and citrusy?
Yes. Is that part of a hazy aspect of it?
That's okay. The whole New England aspect of that IPA. New England IPAs are going to be more juicy, citrus, and they're going to have that haze to it. Meanwhile, on the West Coast IPA, they're going to be more dry, more of a piney taste to them.
Okay. So is a New England, is that like East Coast? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
That's
East Coast IPA. Okay. Yeah, basically.
Okay. Interesting. Okay, well, yeah, that's exactly what it was, and I gotta tell you, it went down really well. I even had the wife try some, and they liked it as well. Like they weren't like my wife doesn't like beer that much. Only likes more of the sweet and kind of stuff, but they liked it a lot. So
no, that's great. That's great, and it was
definitely, if I were to give it on our post scale, I did a lot of thinking. I'm gonna give it probably a T. I give it a T for terrific. super terrific.
That is a very rare tea to come out from Nate.
So yeah, it was good. It was good.
And that's
But
honestly really good to hear because just from my knowledge of just the craft beer scene and stuff like that, from what I heard, Vegas wasn't really, not a lot of craft beer going through there. Kind of just a black hole, which honestly surprises me because it's, what do they call it, like America's Playground and stuff like that.
probably
I don't know.
a lot of stuff happens there. I
yeah.
feel like it's got a lot of names, to be honest.
Yeah. So, I mean, no, but that's really good to hear that you stopped at a really
I mean,
pretty cool
I could
brewery. It
definitely
sounds
see
like.
them being essential for that. But yeah, and again, I feel bad that I can't remember her name. I wish I'd written it down. I wish I really had. But she was awesome. I told her about our podcast, and she was really excited to the fact that we were gonna. She's like, yeah, feel free to mention us on the podcast. Like, yeah, definitely, because it was good. I wish I had more time to try more of their beers, and next time I go back, for sure, we'll hopefully get that opportunity.
Oh, definitely. Maybe we'll be able to get some of their beers one of these days to have a fun little episode.
Yeah, I'm curious if it's seeing that they're new, they probably don't have any sales here in our state, but
Oh, definitely not. Ohio is one of the hardest states to get beer into.
So might have to skip a few state lines in order to get some of that.
Oh, yeah, definitely. All right. Well, are you ready to dive into the beers for this week?
Yeah, definitely.
With this week, we only have 3 beers lined up, and I kind of wanted to do it as I wanted to do just since Thanksgiving is this week, I wanted to get 3 beers for one for each of, I guess, the main parts of Thanksgiving dinner. I got one for the main course, I got one for the sides, and I got one for dessert.
Are we calling this episode the Thanksgiving special?
Oh yeah, we'll call it the Thanksgiving special.
Okay.
So, for the first beer that we have today, it is my go-to beer for Thanksgiving. And it is North Coast Brewing's Scrimshaw.
North Coast Brewing.
Yep. This is...
Oh, California.
Yep.
Okay.
Brewed in Fort Bragg. And they don't have anything... Oh, here it is. Named for the delicate engravings of 19th century seafarers, this is a fresh-tasting Pilsner style beer brewed in the finest European tradition with a subtle hop character, a clean, crisp palate, and a dry finish. The main reason that I choose this beer as my go-to Thanksgiving Day beer is because it doesn't wreck the palate like a IPA will, and it's not as heavy as a stout is, or have a large fruit flavor like most sours and other ales do. This is light, crisp, and clean, and it doesn't feel like it weighs you down or fills you up. So
I gotta say, I like the side here. It just says water, malted barley, hops, yeast, and that's all.
Mm-hmm. And
pour mine out here.
To go with this beer, I have my very own North Coast Brewing Scrimshaw Pilsner glass.
Oh, I don't have a special glass for mine, unfortunately.
Well, no, this is the glass that you're supposed to drink.
Yours is theirs.
Yep.
Like, that's official. Man.
Perks of working at a beer store.
Oh. I know, like, I guess for me, I'm just trying to figure out. I'm getting, like, just from reading the bottle, I'm getting, like, this is a very plain beer, but that's not going to be the case. Is that?
No, it is. It is.
It is. It's a very plain and simple beer.
Plain, simple beer. But again, on this podcast, a plain beer is definitely not an insult by any means of the word.
No, but I think you've spoiled me with a bunch of other flavorful beers, so that's why I'm, like, trying to get my mindset of, like, this, so.
Well, this is... I mean, just breathe it in.
I love the smell of it.
Yeah,
no, I love the smell of it.
Are you ready to go in for
I'm
the first
excited.
sip? All
I'm
right.
excited for the first sip there.
And this is my go-to. Like it pairs well with turkey. You can still taste all the flavors of the food and stuff like that. Like before I go to
Damn.
my Thanksgiving plans are going to be spending time with Alexis's family. I plan on bringing a 6 pack of this to the dinner, just so I can enjoy a beer, and it's not going to weigh me down. It's not going to feel like you're drinking liquid bread. It's it's
What
nice.
is? I'm curious. What is the ABV on this? Do you know?
I don't think it's that high.
Okay, I was just curious. Um, wow. Yeah, I'm trying to imagine myself sitting here with like a nice Thanksgiving spread
Hmm.
on my table here and drinking this, and I like it.
It's almost like refreshing.
Yeah. I mean, so when you so you've obviously you've had this in the past before.
Hmm.
Have you drank it any other time of the year? Do you see this as being like a beer you would drink throughout the entire year, or
According to Untapped, it says the ABV is 4.7. So
4.7? Okay. But do you see this as being like a beer you would drink throughout the year, or do you limit it to
I don't limit
meal
it
situation?
to Thanksgiving. I don't know. Like if I was
This isn't seasonal, right? This is like this
no
is
no
year
no
round.
no yeah, this
This
is
is
year
year
round.
round. Okay.
You can get this anywhere.
Okay.
This is something that I would pair with, like if I was going out to a fancy restaurant, I wanted to have a beer with my dinner, I would get something like this pilsner or a lager of some kind, because it's not going to take away from the meal itself.
Yeah, it's really nice in the taste buds.
Mhm.
It's not overwhelming my taste buds with a bunch of flavor. Taste, just taste beer.
No,
I
yeah,
like
no,
that.
this is
It's
beer.
good.
This is a beer. This is what beers are supposed to taste like. And I also enjoy that the head is sticking around with it the whole time. And
Yeah,
it's
I haven't had that with a lot of my beers before,
mm-hmm,
so I'm impressed by that. Usually by now, most of my beers have already mellowed out with the head.
mm-hmm. And it just it's very lightly carbonated, which I enjoy.
Here's a question.
Mm-hmm,
So I was actually really surprised when you brought this because it was in a bottle, which most of us have been in cans. And
mm-hmm.
I remember hearing a while back, and I guess stuff can change now with COVID going on, right? People are probably definitely doing cans for sure. But I heard that they're starting to phase away from doing bottles at all, and they're sticking to just cans.
A lot of
Most
craft
breweries.
breweries are making the switch over to cans,
And is
which
that just a cost effective thing?
I would
Yeah.
I would believe, but I mean right now COVID time, there is a aluminum can shortage, so I'm sure there are some breweries who are going back to bottles, but that's
Hmm.
just for the time being, so they can still get beer out the door.
No, that's why I mentioned that because I figured there
It's
was a shortage on that. So
it's easier to ship. It's easier to stack in stores.
yeah.
Like, where I work, I can do two. I can, instead of having one row of a 6 pack of bottles, I can do 2 rows like stacked on top of each other in a cooler.
Hmm. Yeah.
So
Plus, they're less likely to get damaged.
yeah,
Although,
yeah.
honestly, when I worked in the beer department, you know how many beer cans I cut open with my knife by accident, and I wasn't paying attention. So when I work in retail, when I worked in retail way back when, worked in the beer department, I cut many a cans with my knife and had beer spray all over me. So have you ever had that
Nope,
since you've been working?
nope,
No.
not once.
Mm.
I have
Once. Okay, you had it once.
no. I said not once.
Oh, not once. Well, okay then. I guess I'm just the odd man out then. Okay.
I have
Um.
dropped beer cans before and had them pop. I've dropped
Oh, I've
glass
had
bottles
that. I've done that.
before, and
Honestly, I've
they
done
have
that more than
they've
I
shattered.
have. Yeah, I've done that more than I have cut them. But there's been times where I've went to go cut the box because you. So like, I don't know if you do it in when you're, so like when you have the 6 packs of bottles, or
Mhm.
wait, Yeah, no, 6 packs of cans. How did I do it? Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. They're like the 12 packs of cans in their boxes.
Mhm.
And when we would cut the outside box that they were in, you would like leave like an inch from the bottom, and you'd like slice all the way around the bottom and just pull off the top so that the way they're still in their tray.
Never once have I done that.
No, man. All right. Well, I
You
don't
know
know.
how, you know how I avoid that?
How's that?
I take the beer out of the box and then I cut the box to make
Yeah,
a
but that
little.
takes longer.
I'm there for 8
And when
hours.
you had a manager like I had, they're like, no, you just do this. You just put it on its side, cut, put it on its side, cut, side cut, side cut, boom.
At the store I worked at, since I was hired in as the beer and wine lead, they were like, "All right, Lucas, here's your beer and wine department. Go nuts." That's
Go
it.
nuts.
That's it. My managers don't really come over to talk to me because I figured out how to do my job.
Yeah. Well, I was just there to help, so I didn't actually work in the beer department.
Mhm.
They would always occasionally, when it was slow on the grocery end, send me over and do that, and I liked it because I'd rather be working in beer than grocery
Mhm.
any time of day. Ugh.
I could,
But yeah, so back to this. I don't normally get this far in my beers, but
I was gonna say, I mean, even
I'm
on the,
almost done. Like
it
I don't
just
normally
goes
get this
down
far.
so smooth. And I mean, this is what you're used to drinking. Usually, I
It's
mean,
good.
oh, I'll say that. I mean,
No, you're gonna laugh at me because what I was drinking before the stream.
you
aren't
drink Miller Lite. I mean, that's
I definitely have a Miller Lite sitting right here because I was drinking it before the stream.
get that off of the podcast.
You don't want to get sponsored by Miller Lite?
Absolutely not.
Oh man.
I will say,
But yeah, I'm
So-
really impressed by how much I have drank of this so far.
because it's so good. It's so good. I highly recommend everyone trying
It does.
Scrimshaw Pilsner
Super smooth.
for Thanksgiving. Get it while you can because stores are going to be nuts the next couple of days.
If not Thanksgiving, at least Christmas, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it goes, I think it would go well with Christmas as well. Most people have a same Christmas meal as they do a Thanksgiving meal.
Mhm. Did you
Usually
do
comes-
turkey
go
on
ahead.
both, or did you do turkey and then ham?
There it is. So it just depends. Like when I was at a big family gathering on Thanksgiving, usually it would be both. It would be turkey and ham because it'd be a big family gathering, so we'd have both of them there. But my family usually does turkey on Thanksgiving, and then it's usually a throw up on Christmas, but usually ham.
Hmm. We usually do
Yeah.
Thanksgiving with the turkey and then ham for Christmas. I think there's only been a couple of times
They
where
got a
we've
lot
done
of wild
turkey on
turkeys
both.
up there in New York.
They do. They do. They're
Really? You guys go hunt your own?
No, absolutely not.
No.
You
Just a thought.
The funny thing is, when everybody hears, "Oh, Lucas, you're from New York. You must be from downtown Manhattan. You live on Broadway."
I've already learned that's not the case.
That's
I already
not the
learned that's
case.
not the case.
We have turkeys. I'm the last house on a dead end road. We have turkeys that walk through our yard. They just walk through the yard to get to the other side.
That's funny.
You need to come.
Yeah, no, I learned early on in our friendship that you were not in the city and you were all the way in. Are you in upstate New York? Is that what it's called? Or?
I consider it upstate, but that's a topic of discussion for some. Because
Yeah, I won't get into that. I won't get into that. Do we want to give our rating on this?
yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Here on the Pint Pals podcast, we have our very own rating system. We call it the Post system. I say Prost. Nate says Post. Nobody has
We
corrected
haven't been
us.
corrected on this yet.
No, yeah. So nobody said anything. So we're just going to keep going with Post. And it's
Forget it, it's-
Prost. P stands for.
Probably won't drink again.
There you go. Thank you. R stands for regrettable. O is optimistic. S is satisfactory. And T is terrific.
You did it.
I did it. I did it.
I've been watching a lot of Adam Sandler movies recently, so every time that comes up, I'm like, oh, cool.
I just killed it.
Damn, I'm really close to getting mine. God, that felt like an episode of a Sesame Street. P stands for the letter. probably won't drink again. So yeah, if you don't know, Post stands for cheers in German. We adopted this probably on like our third podcast, and we've been sticking by it here. So, what would you rate this North Coast Brewing
T.
Scrimshaw?
Scrimshaw.
What I said, Scrimshaw?
You said I don't know what you said.
Okay. Anyway, go ahead.
I would give this a T. Hands down, this is a T. I have this. This is my go-to Thanksgiving beer. I have it every year. And I'm probably thinking about it. This is something I'm probably going to mix into my summer rotation now. Just when I want something light and easy to drink. And I could probably have 3 or 4 of these in one setting, so you know, it doesn't destroy the palate, and it pairs well with, I mean, especially turkey. This would pair excellent with turkey. So
yeah, you're right on the fact that this is a beer that will not destroy your palate. Wow. I honestly, I feel like I could smash a lot of these really quick. So I'm gonna give it a T as well, just because I feel like I could drink a bunch of them. Outside of Thanksgiving, it doesn't have to necessarily just be Thanksgiving. I feel like it's just got a really good taste to it, but it's not too much taste to overwhelm.
All right. Let's move on to the next beer. All right, and the second beer that we're doing today is Extra Galactic Origins. This is the beer that I am going to pair with a side for Thanksgiving, because this is probably going to be a little controversial for Nate. My favorite side on Thanksgiving is cranberry sauce. So, this Extra Galactic Origins is cranberry sauce, a special seasonal goza with cranberry, orange, and ginger. I saw that, and it spoke to me, and that's why we're doing this beer.
So have you not had this yet?
I have not had this yet. This is brand new to me.
Interesting. Okay. I'm not going to comment on the whole cranberry thing, because I know a lot of my family loves cranberry.
Well, cranberry sauce is delicious.
Cranberry sauce, so I'm not going to comment on it. I personally just don't like cranberries that much, but I'm not going to hate on it. So we'll go. What does the bottom of your can say, by the way? Mine is a little too...
Mine just says canned on 10/21/2020.
Oh, thank God. I thought it said cran on, and I was like, that's stupid. But that's not what it says. Canned on. Okay, good.
I just had to double check to make sure my brain didn't just fix it to canned on.
It's like they go for like a flame on kind of thing, but no. Okay, canned on. Okay, I know. My mind playing tricks on me here. Right,
speaking of cans again, to go back on what you said just a little bit ago about craft breweries switching from bottles to cans. At a previous place of employment, there was a customer who came in and spoke to one of the other people that I was working with, and he was talking to him about some beer. And the guy that I used to work with, he said he was talking about this other beer, and it was in cans, and the guy said, "Oh, I don't drink anything from cans." And the guy I used to work with said, "Why?" And the customer said, "Well, the government put a chemical on the lining of cans to make men more docile, so they won't rise up when they try to take over."
What?
Yep. So this guy refuses to drink from cans because
Can't he just wash that off? Like,
well, here's the thing: if the government, let me put my tinfoil hat on for a second. If the government, Big Brother, is doing that to cans, there is nothing stopping them from doing it to bottles.
Oh, God. Oh man, that poor soul. I really do wish him well in life. I really do.
Best of luck when all the beer's going to be in cans.
What was the age of this
5
person?
Years.
Do you know?
Middle-aged.
Okay. Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna get by in life very
Nope.
well there, but
Nope.
you know what? Do what you need to do.
Yeah. Yeah. When all the
Do
beers in
what you need to do,
cans
I
in the
guess.
next 5 to 10 years, best of luck trying to
Hey,
get
they'll
anything.
be sober. They'll be sober. So hey,
He'll be
one more
sober.
sober person in the world. There we
He'll
go.
be sober when the government stands tries to take over. He'll be the one guy not drinking that can drive.
Oh my gosh.
there,
Um.
there was one other thing I wanted to mention for
Yeah.
everybody looking for maybe a little stocking stuffer for somebody or something under the Christmas tree or any other holiday that you celebrate. You're looking for a present. Pint Pals merch is out. I have it. We're going to put the link down below. But it is currently on my Twitch stream channel's store just for the time being because that's how I could get t-shirts the same way. But I'm thinking about, if we just do that, you know, through
We'll
another
look around.
Twitch channel,
We'll find
yeah,
a better.
we'll find a better
We'll
way.
find a
So
good
there is
store.
Pine Pals t-shirts and sweatshirts available right now, and they are at the lowest price possible. So this shirt right here cost me $13
It's a good price.
before shipping and tax. So
I don't think shipping is too much on those.
no,
I remember getting stuff from that store, and I don't think it's too much. But
no.
very nice. Very
Yeah.
nice. I gotta get mine.
It's also very comfortable, very light. We can move around. I'm a bigger guy, and it covers.
So much
know.
room for activities.
So yeah. I
Yeah.
can breathe in this. I can move around. It's a very comfortable shirt. So I saw you already poured yours, but I'm gonna go ahead
I did.
and pour
And
mine
while you're
now.
pouring yours, let me say. So, I got very good smells from it. So I shouldn't say that I don't like cranberry. I don't like cranberry sauce. I don't like the solid cranberry, but I do like cranberry Sprite. Cranberry
Gross.
Sprite is really good.
It's not.
No. Have you ever had like wine mixed with like cranberry Sprite? Oh, it's delicious. So that's what I'm getting. I'm getting the same sense here. The smell. I'm getting that same smell. I'm getting Sprite mixed with cranberry. Do you smell?
I see what you're
that?
saying. I see what
Yeah.
you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm getting that. That used to be the go-to drink or cranberry Sprite used to be the go-to drink for when we couldn't, drink at Thanksgiving. So that would be the go-to drink. Now added with wine then is when we were of age, obviously. But man, I love the smell of this. I really do. I'm ready to take a sip here. You ready?
All right. Absolutely.
How full your glass is.
My God.
I forgot it was a Goza at first, so
Mhm.
totally missed that. Wow though.
Holy shit. Those flavors are incredible.
Yes.
It's
They hit hard and then afterwards.
I'm getting cranberry, citrus, and then ginger. I'm getting all three of them. I would definitely pair this as with my cranberry sauce.
No, it's really I mean, to me it almost tastes like a dessert kind of thing. It's very
Does it?
sweet.
It is sweeter for a Goza. I will say that. So, since you don't like cranberry sauce, what's your go-to side?
What's my go-to side?
Yeah, for Thanksgiving.
Honestly, I don't really know. Like when you're talking about sides, are you talking like if the main thing is a turkey, anything else is a side? That's what you're
Yeah.
talking about.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Oh well then corn casserole. That's my go-to. Love corn casserole. Oh my god.
That
Freaking
is the
best.
one that I hate the most.
There it is.
And it's not because of the flavor. It's because of the texture.
My mom makes it and it is the best. I look
cannot-
forward to it every year. And so, oh my gosh, it's the best. I'm gonna have
I-
to get some. So we're actually not going to visit family
Mhm.
in a couple of days for Thanksgiving, so I'm hoping that maybe I'll get some somehow from her.
This is really good beer.
I do really like this. It's definitely got strong cranberry. That I can tell. It tastes a little bit of the orange. That orange peel taste.
Mm-hmm.
I don't notice the ginger.
I got the ginger.
Bro.
On the first sip. I got the ginger.
I guess I could get a little bit of it afterwards.
God, I just love Arche Brewing.
Yeah.
This is we had one other beer from them. It was the hot cocoa.
Was that the one with the hot
with the peppers in it?
The peppers in it? Yes.
Yeah.
That was very delicious.
Yeah, they make some fantastic beer.
And I've got two in my fridge from father-in-law for us to try next time. So
from father-in-law?
That's my father-in-law. From father-in-law. From my father-in-law. All right. I don't word well, okay?
That just reminded me of like you remember the show Codename Kids Next Door? When one of the villains' name was Father.
Well, I've been watching a lot of Always Sunny in Philadelphia, so I think Charlie's been latching on to me with his words. But yeah, I really like this. I'm a huge fan of Gozas and sours, and so this is definitely up there on the list.
It says that it's a special seasonal Goza, so if you're out at your local bottle shop, I would definitely try to get some of this. It's probably only going to be in the Ohio market. I'll say that. I don't know if they go out state yet.
If they're in Akron, I don't make assumptions, but I'd probably think not. But I've never been to
Pennsylvania's
Arche.
right there.
Yeah, I've never been to Arche before. I hadn't known about them until so that first beer that we had together, and I was actually really surprised that it was an Akron beer because, I'm sure Akron has breweries. I just never visited Akron enough to know.
I don't think I've ever been to Akron.
Really?
I think I have a reason to make a trip now.
Yeah, for sure. I try to think if I've ever been by the brewery, but I can't really think.
Well, you're from that neck of the woods, aren't you?
Yeah. I'm from Wadsworth, which is like 15-20 minutes away from Akron. It's like I'm like on the it's the equivalent of Columbus and any suburb. Wadsworth is like a suburb of Akron, essentially.
And all along, I thought Akron was a suburb of Cleveland.
Not even close. When they're so far apart from each other. But I get that. They're both Northeast Ohio. They both get that vibe. But yeah, they're like
I drive by it a lot.
40 minutes away from each other.
Whenever I go to New York, I drive right by it.
By Cleveland or Akron? Do you take 76?
Yeah, I take 76. 76 to 80.
You go right through Akron, yeah.
As you can tell, I'm using my Finley Brewing glass. And if anybody has a long trip ahead of them for Thanksgiving, last week's episode that I just released on Sunday the 22nd is the Finley Brewing episode, and I highly recommend giving it a listen. I was joined by Aaron because Nate couldn't bother to say hi to me. I highly recommend giving that a listen. Am I plugging my own show?
Out there.
Plugging my own show on my show.
Just because it's not with me, so he's excited about it.
Yeah, it's a better episode, better quality, better content. Oh man, this is but I
really like it.
I know exactly what you're saying now when the whole cranberry Sprite, because every time I have a sip, it's just that's what it honestly tastes like.
Yep. I like right from the smell is like, man, this smells like that cranberry Sprite.
Jeez,
I hate
that. I hate that soda.
Really?
I try it. Listen, I'm a very seasonal drinker. Same way with my sodas that I am with beer. I'll say that. Like, had to have the Merry mashup for Mountain Dew. I always have a bottle of that. I always do.
Never heard of that.
Yeah, it's a combination of Code Red and regular Mountain Dew, I'm pretty sure.
Like they make it, or you do it yourself?
They make it. They make it.
They make. Okay, gotcha.
Kind of like Red, White, and Brew, which is their Code Red, Voltage, and Whiteout mixed together.
I didn't know they made combinations of them. I don't drink a lot of Mountain Dew to really know. So
I do. I'm a real gamer, Nate. So I need my gamer fuel.
Okay. Getting your codes for your games where they come out.
That's like, what these cardboard pieces are right here. My double XP for Call of Duty.
Double XP. There it is. Just made it official. My problem with cranberry is that it's so bitter. That's my issue. But
that's why I love it.
In this beer, I think it goes really well with the Goza aspect of it. Already being a sour, it kind of blends in well. There is still a little bit of that cranberry. That's why you said you like it. You like because of the bitterness.
I do cranberry? Enjoy. Yeah. I enjoy bitter tasting things. I guess.
I mean, I like bitter tasting things, but like, talking about cranberry, it's almost, to me, cranberry is a step down from cherry. It's just like a small step down from cherry. And don't tell me you like cherries. Do you like cherries?
In what format?
Okay, so let's talk about like cherry medicine.
Gross.
Like the worst. Okay, thank you. So like this, like when I think of cranberries, I always get that same mindset of just cherry medicine.
I do. I like black cherry yogurt.
Okay, I mean, so cherry is good in some things. I'll agree with that. Just like cranberry is good in some things, I guess. I don't know. I get the same essence.
We get it, Nate. You have poor taste. We
cherry
get it.
And that's it. Here we go. Team up on Nate now. All right. Anyway, Nate's gonna go ahead and drink.
Man, I'm kind of upset.
I love that smell.
I'm upset that this is a seasonal.
I can agree with that. I mean, I don't really eat cranberry that often, but do you eat cranberry outside of like seasonal things, like cranberry sauce? Do you eat cranberry sauce outside of like Thanksgiving or
no? Because then I'd ruin it for myself.
Yeah. So I mean, I guess that's probably the same thing with this one, right?
I do.
I don't know, dude.
Well, that's not true. I enjoy cranberry juice. Like that's
cranberry
one of the.
Juice isn't bad.
I drink cranberry juice in the morning sometimes, but then I've been on a big Sunny D kick lately, mainly because my mom wouldn't let me have Sunny D as a kid. So now that I'm an adult, I get to have Sunny D all I want.
The greatest thing about being an adult, you can have the things your parents said you couldn't have.
Yep.
Honestly, I can't even think of what mine would have been. I can't even think of what mine was. Yeah. Yours was Sunny D though. That's funny.
Well, it was other things as well.
Ooh. Well, so back to this. I still get the Sprite cranberry sense of it. I mean, the smell's great. I love that it's, for me at least, it's one taste after the other. So I'm initially hit with cranberry, and then I get a little bit of that orange peel taste, that bitterness of the orange peel taste, and then just a little bit of ginger, but that aftertaste is really...
What does that ginger part of it taste like to you? Because I'll tell you what it tastes like to me.
You describe it, because I honestly couldn't describe it. Go ahead.
I get the cranberry, I get orange, and it tastes like a Werner's after that.
You're on to something right there.
Doesn't it taste like a Werner's? Yeah.
Now you pointed that out, and I don't know if it's just a mental thing or not, but that's exactly what I'm getting. That's what that aftertaste is a Werner's.
It tastes like a Werner's.
Which is sometimes another thing we would mix with cranberry is Werner's and cranberry.
Whoever does that
is also a good one.
Whoever does that should be lined up against a wall and shot. You cannot desecrate Werner's like that.
Werner's and cranberry, they do it themselves. They have their own.
Who does that?
They do.
Where? Where?
The company has their own.
Where?
I'm almost
I'm
positive.
sorry. Where?
All right, we're doing a lookup here.
Okay,
we're doing
do a
here.
lookup. Do a lookup.
Werner's Cranberry.
See this blasphemy.
Oh, it's Canada Dry. That's what I was
Oh, it's Canada Dry. Yeah, you get out of here with
you're
your
right,
Canada
you're
Dry.
right, you're right,
Unplug
you're
your
right.
computer right now.
You're
Throw
right.
it in the street.
You're right.
Canada Dry.
Yeah, it was Canada Dry.
This
That's
is
what I
a
was thinking of.
Werner's podcast. That's it. We're switching it. Pint Pals is now Soda Pop Pals, and we're going to talk about Werner's every
I love
single
them both.
episode.
I love Canada Dry and Werner's. They're both really good.
That's another thing I wasn't allowed to have as a kid.
What?
Was Werner's.
Oh, really?
Yeah, mainly because they don't distribute it in Ohio. And I'm sorry, in New York.
Oh, in New York. You've been living in Ohio too long. You've been living in Ohio too long.
So
You're one of us now.
Yeah, absolutely not. No, I take this back. Last time Alexis and I went grocery shopping together, I needed to get by somebody, and I said, "Ope," and I was like, "Oh no, I'm changing.
Oh.
I'm saying ope and settling for mediocre pizza. Oh no."
My God. You're attacking the pizza now. All right.
Yeah, 'cause
All right. Attacking the pizza.
I will.
You'll attack Chicago pizza too, which is
Yeah, because that's tomato soup with
mind-boggling.
bread. It's tomato soup with bread.
Is that so bad? No, it's literally like this much tomato, this much cheese, and then bread.
Mm-mm.
Literally, it's just nothing but cheese.
It's disgusting.
Dairy and bread.
Nope. It's
Anyway,
inverted deep dish, and it's disgusting.
you and I are going to Giordano's up in Polaris, and we're gonna get some.
I don't know what that is.
That's okay. You don't need to. Anyway, wanna give this one a rating?
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna give this an S.
Really?
I'm gonna give it an S.
Man, I don't know. This is really difficult
Mhm.
because I'm really liking it, but I don't think I could have multiple of this. I honestly think I could only have one of this.
I'm right there with you.
setting.
I'm right there with you.
Yeah.
I think. I mean, it's not because the ABV. It's an 8% ABV.
It is gonna hit hard.
It's
But-
yeah, it's gonna hit a little harder, but I don't know. I just with the flavors that it has, I think ruining that. I don't know, kind of like that flavor profile. I don't know if I could do just more than one because it has a lot of flavors, and I don't know if that's what I would want to be tasting the whole day.
I have a question. Do you think part of it is because it's a goza that you think
No.
you wouldn't be able to drink?
I love
It's not because
gozas.
of it's a sour.
No.
Well, no. I mean, it has nothing to do with like the fact of not liking the goza aspect, but like because it's a goza, do you think it's a lot heavier and more flavorful, that more filling? I guess.
I am
Like if we were to put the same ingredients in some other type of beer, what would you suggest? Do you have a suggestion?
if I were to put cranberry.
Yeah, orange and ginger in another type of beer.
I mean,
than
I think-
goza, what would you?
I think the only other option would be an IPA of some sort.
IPA.
But then again, you'd probably use. Oh, geez. You would have to get your citrus flavor from the hop instead of putting. Like I'm sure I don't know if what these guys did, but you would have to get the citrus flavor from the hop instead of using actual citrus.
Are there
Citra
actual
hops.
hops that have like
Oh,
citrus
yeah.
in them?
Yeah,
Really?
well, it's not. It imitates. It's not like there's citrus in them.
Now, I can't remember. Are there hops in goza? Right? Yes or no? No, you don't know. Okay.
I don't know.
Is that just,
I believe there is.
Okay. I was thinking of those galactic hops that we tried in that other beer. What was that other beer called? That was from Northland High. It was the Galactic,
What?
right?
We haven't on the podcast or off the podcast?
It was off. It was one of our off podcasts. If you know what I mean. It was their anniversary from Land Grant. I'm sorry. What did I say before?
Did you just say land
I
shark?
said Land Shark. I just said Land Shark. Land Grant. I'm
Land
sorry.
Grant.
Woo!
Land Grant.
Hello. The 8% ABV is hitting me.
The lost
All right.
episode.
Yeah, the lost episode. We had Galactic hops from that because they had the I think it was an IPA. Wasn't it Galactic IPA?
It might have been. Oh yeah. The one that had like the galaxy on it.
Yeah, the Galaxy hops. Because I remember him mentioning that like those are very rare hops to get and very difficult to get. So sorry, in my mind, when they put Galactic on here, Galactic Orchards, I thought maybe like they used some kind of special hops, but just interested in that. Ever since I learned about like all the different types of hops and like that there is like a whole universe of like just a bunch of different types of hops, it's really intrigued me. When I'm drinking beer, I'm always curious now what kind of hops they're putting in it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this beer definitely has some hops in it. I know that, but I don't know which ones. Honestly, probably Citra.
I guess it would make
probably
sense to have
Citra
it in
hops.
IPA. Honestly, I feel like it would go to waste if they were to put it in a Goza.
Well, I think all beers
like it would make more sense.
have hops in them for the most part.
Yeah, but I mean, like to use like expensive rare hops for a Goza, I feel like would go to waste as compared to like an IPA.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know much about brewing, and I can't speak much for it. But that's my inner monologue talking. I'm gonna give this an S2, just because it does come off a little bit heavy. But it is delicious.
It is a delicious beer. I will say that.
I could only have. So I usually save tea for beers that I could have multiple of. I think this is definitely one I could have one of with a side.
I'm definitely right there with you. The only reason that it has an S is because I don't know if I could do, 3 or 4 of these in one go.
It doesn't have to necessarily do with the ABV. It just has to do with it does sit kind of heavy.
Yeah, that's true. It definitely fills me up. All right. Are you ready to move on to the next one?
Yes, I am.
All right. And the third beer and last beer we're going to be doing this evening is a personal favorite of mine. It is one of my go-to stouts. You've had this beer before, Nate. You may not remember it, but it's definitely something I brought before down to a gathering, and Cody loved it.
I've had it.
Yeah, you've had it. It is Big Bad
I
Baptist.
recognize the name.
Big Bad Baptist Imperial Stout. This is my favorite stout of all time.
Huh.
And I say that, but I mean, like, I have a different favorite breakfast stout. This is okay. This is one of my favorite stouts of all time. One of my favorite beers. Definitely my top 5.
Really hyping it up for me here.
You've
been hyping it up for a while.
It's fantastic. It's slightly boozy and very chocolatey because it's a bourbon barrel aged stout.
I mean, even the can itself is really, really hyping it up. Ultra premium, world renowned, critically acclaimed.
The reason
even on the side it says it's badass. Like
the reason you probably don't remember it is probably because the last time you had it, it was in a bomber. It was in a 22-ounce bottle.
So no, yeah. What a bomber? What is that?
The 22-ounce glass bottles, the big bottles of beer.
Huh.
And this just
what kind of gathering would have been?
Just a gathering at your house. It was a party,
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay. I believe you. I guess I'll know when I taste it, right?
Yeah, you probably will. It's 11.7 ABV.
Oh.
That's what I wanted to tell you during the break, but I was waiting just so I can see that reaction.
Thank you for that.
Yep.
No, it's okay. I told Lucas after this podcast I need to hit the bed and like go to sleep, and I was thinking, you know what? He saved a coffee based alcohol for the end here, but it is 11, so I guess it'll put me right to sleep.
Yep. It is 11.7% ABV.
I was like the sense that like we're doing 3 beers for this one, but the ABV has probably been equivalent to all the other ones we've been doing normally. So cool. I'm excited for this.
I love this beer.
Now, did you read the description already?
No, I didn't.
Hold on. It's like I'm really thrown off by how the can. Okay, so I opened it, and normally there's like this much space in there, from where like the air for the can. There's no space in this one. Literally, the beer is literally at the edge of the can on the top.
Yeah, they do a good job of doing that.
Jeez. All right, I wasn't ready for that. That caught me off guard. So I gotta be careful pouring this here.
I'll read the description here while you're pouring that. It's big, it's bad, it's one of the best barrel-aged stouts in the world. We take a rich and roasty imperial stout and age it in some flavorful whiskey barrels before adding copious amounts of artisanal coffee with real cacao nibs. The result is badass beer that will blow your mind.
So they're going above and beyond. Epic Brewing, where are they from?
They are from, I just saw it, Denver, Colorado.
Have we had their beer before on the podcast?
Nope.
I recognize
You
their
recognize
name,
Epic Brewing because they make other beers. Let's see.
I mean, I figure they make other beers since they're a brewery, but
Well, you would see, you would know what other beers that they make.
yeah, no, I know what you mean. I'm just giving you a hard time. Yeah, I definitely recognize their logo and their name. So, but I probably
Let's see.
have to see the bottle.
Oh,
There was nothing interesting on the bottom, at least that I could tell because it was off the edge.
they make
they did
Los
review.
Locos Mexican style lager. They have Tart and Juicy Sour IPA. They have Escaped Colorado IPA. I'm just listing names that would be in retail stores.
I'm more of a visual person, so I probably wouldn't recognize unless I saw it. I'll have to look them up later and see if I can identify, because I definitely recognize the name for sure.
They do come out with a line of beers, a line of different variants of the Big Bad Baptist every year, and they just came out with theirs, and unfortunately I was unable to get any of the rare variants of their beers.
Okay, so this is the normal variant. This is the normal
variant. This
Gotcha.
is the stage 1, I guess. Are you ready to go ahead?
Give me a second. When I opened the can, I had a little bit squirted out on my keyboard here. Yeah, it was full. It was full. That's for sure.
The reason that I'm pairing this as our dessert beer for Thanksgiving is because a lot of people have coffee with pies. This is something that I would pair. I don't think I would pair this with a pie, especially not a pumpkin pie, but just something coffee flavored with a little bit of booziness that is probably going to be your nightcap or your beer to end the evening on. Especially if it's 11.7, I'll let you know. I don't go to a party and go, let's get messed up. Here's my 11.7 ABV stout.
You don't?
I don't. I did bring it that one time to that get together we had with our
you did
friends.
bring it. You did bring it to the gathering.
Well, why do
I
I?
guess if you're sharing it, I guess it's
That's why I do.
Fair enough.
Cody loved it. This is one of Cody's favorite beers that he told me. So, are you ready to go ahead with your first sip?
I'm gonna dive in with the smell here. I'm digging the smell.
I think we had this before we left to go out on the town to. Man, how many breweries did we hit in one night? We hit like 5 or 6 different breweries that night.
Oh yeah, we had quite a few. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a fun night. Oh, and speaking of which, because that night we started the Ale Trail, the next season of the Ale Trail is coming out in January.
So that I've probably missed the season then. I feel like.
Nope, they haven't done one because of COVID.
Oh, okay. I was
But
gonna say 'cause I definitely
I
didn't do
think
one this year.
they changed the rules of it just because of, I mean, I don't know if they
My
changed the rules of it.
passport. So I can't use my passport anymore. I have to get a new one.
Yeah, you'd have to get the sixth one. I didn't even. Well,
Dang.
it's also past the point to turn in the 5 one, but I'm sure you
Honestly,
could.
I was just doing it just to do it.
Oh yeah,
honestly.
yeah. Well, I
That's
still
part of
want
it,
I
I
want the
guess.
glass in the bottle opener. I still haven't turned mine in.
Oh yeah. A lot of breweries in Columbus for
It's
sure.
so much fun to do the ale trail. All right, you good to go?
All right, I'm good to go.
God, you just get the boozy and the chocolate notes right off the smell.
Oh, 100% chocolate.
That is fantastic.
Give me a second with this one.
Yeah,
If you have anything to talk about, give me a little bit because
I personally,
I'm not too sure yet.
it's one of my favorite stouts. Yeah, I get the chocolate, I get the coffee, and then I get just that rich boozy flavor. Now again, when this was in Bombers, this is something that I would have, like this batch right here. I'm getting a lot of booziness on it. With all of the other barrel aged stouts that I have, I usually cellar them for a year, just to let the boozy
Really?
tones mellow out. Yeah, yeah. So you get
Did
more
you
of the
let
beer.
these for a year?
No, I just got them yesterday.
Is there like a limit to how long you can let beer sit in a cellar?
What do you mean? Is there a limit?
I mean, like, so like beer eventually expires, right?
Depending on the beer.
Okay.
Like a barrel aged stout, that'll last forever. IPAs, give it about 6 months before the hops start to die off.
Well, because the reason I say this is like, so I remember texting you a while back. It might have been last year at some point. That I went over to.
I will let you know you are not the only
And-
person who texts me about stuff like this.
Thank you. I would hope not, seeing how good you are with this stuff. But I went over to a friend of Abby's family, and they had that Sam Adams that I was. Do you remember what I'm
That's
talking about?
right. You had the. Yes.
Do you remember
yes,
what- I
because
remember
I
what year it
was
was.
jealous about you. I was jealous
Yeah.
at you because you had Sam Adams Utopia.
Yes, I believe
Yep.
that's what it was. I
Yep,
had to look
and
back
that
and
is
look. Yes.
that is a $200 bottle of beer.
Well, because it had aged, he had it for years and
And
years and
I
years and years
am
and years.
so jealous that you had that beer because that is a beer on my wish list. Just because
I mean,
it's
literally,
like
we're
one
drinking
of
out
those
of shot
things.
glasses because it was so.
It's expensive
strong,
and it's
so
very hard to come by.
expensive. Yeah.
Where I worked before, we had a lottery to see who had the right to buy the bottle
Damn.
because it's just so rare.
So have you done that with any of your beers? Have you started saving them up?
I have a
just
beer from
let them-
2017. I mean,
All right.
No,
I'd be curious.
2018, excuse me.
I wouldn't mind doing that. Like if you told me a beer that I should get and let it age for years, like please, I
well,
would
that's
be down to try that.
that's a good thing. I'll let you know right now. It's that time of year again. Black Friday is this week, and Goose Island's Bourbon County comes out every Black Friday.
Bourbon County.
It is their barrel
There's
aged.
a Black Friday for beers. Is there really?
Well, it's just their annual release
They don't
date.
discount it, but like it's their okay.
It's just the release date for the beer. I think it's just easier for retail stores to have it because they're like, hey, people are already going to be shopping. Might as well have it out.
So is that one you suggest I get for
That is the one that I
aging for
have
years
from
and years? Oh, that's the
2018.
one you have.
I have 2018, 2019 bottled. And then this year, I'm gonna buy a bottle and then not have it for years.
So what do you do for that? I'm curious. So do you just
You
you just
just
take the bottle and you just put it somewhere? You don't have to put it in the fridge, right? You
you
just
you
put it
don't have
somewhere.
to put it in the fridge. I have it in my cabinet right now. I know a lot of people will put it in their cellar, and that's why they call it cellaring, and then just forget about it. But because I move a lot and we live in an apartment,
You don't have a cellar in
I
your
don't have a
apartment?
cellar. I just stick it in my cabinet and I forget about them. And that's not the only beer that I have that's a couple of years old. I have Goose Islands that are years old. I have some Jackie O's barrel aged beers that are a few years old.
Hmm. I'm intrigued. I mean, I think that's cool. Like,
Hmm.
especially down the road, I'll be more into understanding craft beer and stuff, and I think that would be
If you want, I could
fascinating.
take a picture. Yeah, that's what I'll do. I'll put it on our social media. I'll take a picture of my cellar collection. And
Honestly, I wouldn't mind trying that.
I
Do you
have
just do one of the? Because I mean, obviously they come in like a pack of 4 or 6.
what does
So do you
what does
the beer, or do you just buy one? You buy
so
a single.
the beers that I have, they do not come in a 6 pack or 4 pack format.
Oh, they're just a single
Uh,
bottle thing. Okay.
Goose Island's Bourbon County comes out as a single bottle, and I think it's a 16-ounce bottle.
Oh, okay.
And that comes out all of the different, and they also come out with a line of variants of it. So I just drink I just have the regular stout because I don't bother trying to fight with the crowds and just going to the stores, and because these are beers that people will like
Yeah.
wait outside for.
So I'm curious then. So like, why? So like,
Why? What?
so
Because it's
you hold
very rare.
so you hold it for so many years. Does that enrich the taste, or is it just the
It
is it just the
mellows out the
mindset?
booziness.
Okay.
So
So
like
is it
right
more of a
here,
mindset?
well,
I'm confused.
take another sip of this beer. Do you get kind of that alcohol burn, like if you were to take a
Oh
shot?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. See,
Definitely from this. Yeah.
that's from them being barrel aged in whiskey barrels. It has that alcohol burn to it. If you age that beer, that mellows out, and you get more of the beer flavors with it.
Is there a max age you should go for
I
when doing
mean,
this, or
I don't know. I definitely
is there a
I'm not going to
beer
give
out
my
there that's like 100 years old that
I mean, there might be. I know
or
Belgian ales, if kept it the right way, they can age for years. Stouts can age for years. Uh,
intrigued by this now?
I
Like
mean,
what are the conditions you have to keep them in? Like all that kind of stuff. I'm intrigued. So,
I just
but
have
we
my
can
beers in a
save it
cabinet.
for another time, so we don't go too long with talking about this. But I am intrigued by this.
Yeah, and eventually on one of these podcasts, we'll probably do an episode where we just tap into some of my cellar beers. And
I wouldn't want to do that.
what do you
I
mean
wouldn't
you?
want.
Why
I
not?
feel weird doing that. I feel like
Why? I love you.
I was already intimidated going into that Sam Adams. I was like, oh my gosh,
I'm so
what am I
jealous of you.
drinking right
I am
now?
so
Like,
jealous of you. You have no idea how jealous I am of you.
So, but yeah. Well, do we want to go ahead and rate this one? I'm still kind of
God, we
diving
didn't
in.
talk about this beer at all.
Well, we can talk about it more then. Yeah, for sure. I know we got into like a bunch of stuff here. So, definitely get a strong chocolate taste at the beginning.
Yes, yes. I get more of
Very
the
strong
chocolate,
chocolate.
very light on the coffee. I will let you know, if you let a beer like this age, you're probably going to lose 100% of that coffee flavor.
I mean, for this one particularly, I don't. You're right. I don't get a strong coffee taste. I get aftertaste. I get kind of a little bit of coffiness from it.
I get chocolate and that booziness mainly.
Yes, I agree. It is definitely the strong chocolate taste.
If you
beginning.
ever hear me describe a beer as boozy, or anybody else describe a beer as boozy, they mean it's got that alcohol kind of burn to it. I mean, that's what I say.
I
'Cause
figured
it's
that
like,
much.
yeah,
I kind of picked that up after a while because I
but
definitely
I love
definitely
bourbon
has
barrel
that.
aged stouts, especially in the wintertime. Like, these are perfect to drink when it's when there's snow on the ground. I'll say that.
So I don't want to steer too far. I know because we haven't really talked too much about this one, but barrel aged, like, does that mean they kept it in a barrel for
They put it
a
in a whiskey
while?
barrel,
Oh, okay.
but
But like, do they do it for a certain amount of time, or is it like they just put it in there, let it rest for a little while, and then send it out? Or
I think Goose Island does it for a year. I'm not sure. I think they brew it and then they put it in the barrel for the year and then they release it that following Black Friday.
Mm.
I can't.
Gotcha.
I don't know how long.
No, fair enough. Fair enough.
But whiskey barrels aren't the only thing that they barrel age in. I have things that have been aged in whiskey barrels, rum barrels, cognac barrels, and I've had wine. I've had beer that was aged in wine barrels. I don't have any of that in my back stock, but the other ones I do have.
Should we do a barrel aged episode at one point?
Absolutely. We will be drunk 30 minutes in.
So they're usually really high in ABV if they're barrel aged.
Yes. They take from the barrel. That's why this is 11.7.
They're taking the alcohol from the barrel. Wow,
Yeah.
I can't.
Well, think about it this way. Think about it this way. A Guinness is about 4.5 ABV.
Actually, really low.
That it is really low.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
I thought they were a lot higher than that.
Nope. They are
interesting.
4 to 5 to 5%. I would say. I think they're in that ballpark.
Wow.
Yeah. So this being at 11.7, it takes a lot of that booziness in.
So I say in general, I'm not. You've definitely opened the door to stouts for me. I've never been a big fan of stouts because they've always been so thick and heavy for me. Mm-hmm. And I think part of that was because Guinness was my first kind of like generic stout that I was introduced to. I would probably say it's probably the same for most people. That's the most common one people know.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And so I think you've definitely opened doors for stouts for me. I don't have such a negative outlook on stouts as I did because I wasn't a fan of Guinness when I first had it.
That's fair. I was the same way. But absolutely, yet I go every St. Patty's Day. I have at least 1 or 2 Guinnesses. I'll say that.
And I can appreciate Guinness a bit more. I'm not saying like I don't.
Yeah.
Hey Guinness now because I definitely, especially the blonde ale, I really enjoyed. I enjoyed that. I know it's not a stout, but Guinness in general, I've opened up more to their beers. But stout wise, I've been more open since this podcast because you've shown me there's a lot more to stouts than just Guinness.
Yes. And for anybody who's on the fence about stouts and has that whole Guinness being the first stout, and you're like, I don't like Guinness. 1, Guinness is a very dry stout, and 2, it's a nitro, so that alone is a whole different category on its own.
Is it?
I
didn't know that.
Yeah.
What defines a nitro? Can you real quick, like, I mean, I don't know if that's a real quick thing, but
like,
it's a nitro.
Instead of CO2, it's night.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So stouts are made with CO2. Oh, sorry. Am I saying something that's not?
You're good. You're good.
Am I being
instead of
smart with the beer community?
No. You're fine. So when you you go to a bar, you get a pint of beer on draft, and it's the same way with like a soda machine. It's got the CO2 tank.
Okay, I got you. Okay, never mind then.
Instead of CO2, it's nitrogen, and then you get more of a rich, and any nitrogen stout is going to be rich and creamy. And it's going to be thick. And that's why with nitro stouts, like Guinness, you pull it all the way down, you get it at a 45-degree angle, then you go, and then you set it down, put the tap back up, and you have to let it, like, the level rise because it's so heavy.
I remember this vaguely. I remember you pouring this nitro stout before from a can. Do you have to pour it a certain way, or wasn't it where you just instantly put it right
Yes,
Rice it up.
yes.
Yes.
Nitrogen can, you pour hard and fast. Because if you cannot drink a nitrogen beer from a nitrogen can. Like just like if you were to just crack open a can and drink it that way, you cannot do that with a nitrogen beer because by the time you get halfway through that beer, it's gonna all have escaped and you're gonna have a flat, disgusting beer.
I remember you doing that before, so I was curious about that, but
All right, are you ready to give this a rating and move on to our toast of the night?
I say so. All right. For me, I don't know. I'm really mixed up on this one. I'm gonna ask you to go first.
Okay,
I
I'll
know
go
you've
first.
done first for most of them.
So I'm going to give this beer a T. Now, this is going to contradict what I've said with the other one, but just because of the style of this beer and it being 11.7 and a barrel-aged stout, I'm also drinking it out of the wrong glass. We should be having this out of 10-ounce glasses instead of 16-ounce glasses. But anyway.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Anyway.
Yeah. Anyway. I would give this beer a T. And even though I would only have one of these in an evening. And I know I said with the last one, I gave it an S because I'd only be able to have one of those in an evening. It's because it's a very different style. This is
Fair enough.
This is a beer that I would close a night out on. This is a beer that, I mean, you already got that food coma going with Thanksgiving. This one is just going to be the cherry on top to pair with that food coma, honestly, because it's coffee, it's chocolatey, and it has that just boozy taste to it. It's a nightcap of beers, I would say that. It is the last beer that you have in the night, and it's definitely a sipper. It's nothing. If you're ever at a party and you happen to bring one of these beers and your friend says chug, you punch him in the face because that's not something you should be doing with this beer. So what would you give this beer, Nate?
I would definitely be one of those chug people.
Yes, I know you are.
Is that why you said it? Anyway, I agree with you. The fact that it's definitely a one and done kind of thing. I definitely have one of these. It's very heavy, as most stouts usually feel to me. I'm sure most stouts usually are. So I'm trying to think of all the other stouts that we've had here on the podcast.
We haven't had that many.
Yeah.
And the only other stout
the other one
that
we
comes
had
to
was,
mind was the hot cocoa from Marche, the hot cocoa
Yeah.
with the peppers. And that is a very different stout compared to the stout we're drinking right now.
Yeah. I really enjoyed the hotness with that one because it gave that, what was he say about the beer burn, the alcohol?
It just
burn,
gives
what was it called?
that warm feeling in the back of your throat.
Yeah. And I think the alcohol from this one definitely gets that, but not as much as that one. So I've got that standard there. But thinking of just stout in general, the chocolateness is really good. The aftertaste tastes like coffee to me. I know you said that the coffee wasn't very strong, and I agree, it's not as strong as other stuff I've had.
Well, it could be strong in the stout, but that booziness just overpowers everything.
Yes, I agree with that. Yeah, it does overdo it. I'm gonna go with an S. I'm gonna go with an S for it. I don't really have much else to say about it other than honestly, like I like it. I really enjoy it. I mentioned how I didn't like stouts originally before this podcast, and since I've been having them on here, I've really enjoyed them. This is one of those reasons. This would be one of the reasons if this were the first set I've had since the podcast. This would make me like stouts. It's good. I enjoy it.
Good.
And the flavors are distinct and stick out. So, go with an S.
All right, I can definitely back what you're saying, and I I you know I know the whole craft beer world is kind of new to you, so I can definitely get where you're coming from, and this is probably your second time having a barrel. Well, no, 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 no. You've had Utopia. I don't know if that's barrel aged or not though. But you
Well,
had
wasn't so I'm gonna sound weird, but like, isn't that Kentucky Bourbon Ale? Isn't
it
that
is.
also?
It is. Have you
Yeah,
had
I've had
KBB?
that. I've
Okay.
yeah,
So
I've had that on stout or on on
any
stout before. So
any KBB beer has been barrel aged. That's their thing.
okay.
Each
Oh, that's
brew-
their thing. Okay.
Yeah, each brewery has their thing.
I remember
and-
getting it from I remember getting it from a bar. I actually got it from one of the arcade bars. And I remember getting it. It was one of those
Jesus.
small, like the very small,
The snifter
like
glass?
yeah. I was like, oh, this is interesting. And I, me after the whole chug thing,
Ugh.
Cody,
God, that would've been
one of
rough.
our good friends chugged it, and it's like, okay. But yeah,
God.
but yeah, I mean, you're right though. I haven't had a lot of a barrel aged things, so this is one of
Yeah, and
my first ones, and
this
I
is
can feel it.
yeah.
That's for sure. I
Oh,
can feel it. I
This
can feel
is-
it.
This is totally different than what you're used to. I'll say that.
Yes. And you were right about that beer taste. You can taste the alcohol.
Oh
For
yeah.
Sure.
Oh yeah.
Yes. You
This-
can taste the alcohol.
This burns going down, and
In
honestly,
a good way, though.
I
Good way.
I appreciate this beer is now in 4-pack cans. I appreciate that more than anything.
What were they originally? Were they just a single?
They were in bombers, the 22-ounce bottle.
Okay.
And in the craft beer world, that is a style of beer, the style of packaging that has been eradicated. It has been a relic, gone with time. But this is a beer that I wish would have stayed in the bomber format, mainly because this alcohol burn is quite a bit, and for somebody who, like in your position, hasn't had a lot of barrel aged beers, to kind of like punch you in the face with chocolate and then punch you in the face twice with alcohol burn is quite a bit.
Which is, I
And-
think, is the reason I really liked the Arche version of it with the
well, the Arche,
burn, because
it wasn't an
with
alcohol
the-
burn, it was a pepper burn.
with the pepper burn, but it blocked out the alcohol because of the pepper burn. It blocked out.
That wasn't a
alcohol
barrel aged.
burn. I'm just sorry. I'm just thinking of stout. I'm sorry. I'm thinking of stouts in general.
Gotcha.
That's what I was thinking of. Yeah. All right.
All right, are you ready to move on to the toast
let's give
for
our
this
cheers.
evening?
Yeah,
let's give our
toast for the
cheers. Do you have anybody you'd like to mention?
Well, Trustworthy Brewing. I enjoyed being able to talk to them. The fact that I introduced our podcast as being a new podcast and everything, they were really open to the fact that your podcast, and they wanted to. They seemed very open for us introducing them on the podcast here. So, cheers to you guys. Even though this is I believe their first year as a brewery. Cheers to you for being able to get through COVID and standing through it all. I
Yes.
mean, you guys started at the most awkward time, and so cheers to you guys.
Yes, definitely. Here. Is there anybody else that you have?
I mean, I would give cheers to Pod Mom and Pod Dad.
See, God, damn it!
They stuck.
You beat me
Are
to
you
it.
we're gonna do that
You
one?
beat me to
All
it.
right.
Pod Mom and Pod
So
Dad. No, no, no.
hopefully, like I said, so hopefully on our next podcast, we'll be doing
You know,
beers given to us by Pod Mom and Pod Dad, which is my mother and my father-in-law have both given us beers.
well, that probably won't
try.
be next week, but
It'll be sometime soon.
it'll be
hopefully,
sometime
yeah,
soon.
sometime very soon. They're still sitting in my fridge, and we're gonna It's going to be a different podcast because we're going to be both be in the same room to do it.
We
So
are.
we're going to have to figure that out. Yeah, seeing as that I only have one of each for.
Oh shit.
some of 'em.
Okay.
So we're going to figure it out. We're going to figure it out. So
Okay. Yeah, we'll definitely.
it'll be
figure
coming
that
soon.
out.
It'll be coming soon. But cheers, because your support, your continued support, and everything, as well as all to those new people that we've been getting. We've been getting a lot of new people listening, and it's very much appreciated. To all our recent subscribers on YouTube, you've been awesome. Thank you. We appreciate you. Here we go. Cheers.
Cheers, definitely.
I was going to say, bomb choices in beers tonight. Because normally
I know how to pick 'em.
normally I don't finish them by the end of the podcast here.
You were
we were joking at the
sleep
beginning
good
that
tonight.
yeah, we were joking at the beginning that like there's only 3 beers tonight, so it'll be quick. But I'm almost done with all these beers before we've even finished, which is crazy.
Yeah, this episode is going to be just as long as the other ones were, and I wanted
and only
and
3 beers.
I totally thought this was going to be shorter.
It's all because of the high ABV. That's why.
That could be. That could be.
Gets us talking and going.
Do
you have any cheers?
Yes, I do. I have one cheers that I would like to make to Aaron from Finley Brewing. I really do appreciate him coming out last week and sitting with me and talking with me about their beers and walking me through. And they also hooked me up with their beers, which again, never expected, but very, very much appreciated. So this one's to Aaron from Finley Brewing. And the last cheers that I have tonight is for all the listeners, because I will say this, our listener numbers have been doing excellent. They have been going up every single day. Because that's the first thing I do. I wake up, turn off my alarm, and I check our Spotify numbers every day. And each day the numbers are going up, and that is just incredible. And I really do appreciate it. So to all you listeners out there, this is for you. Thank you. You got anything else, Nate?
Other than feeling like I just sat through a Thanksgiving dinner? Nope. I think I'm good.
All right. Same here. Well, thank you very much, everybody, for giving us a listen. Really do appreciate you. I hope you all have a safe, COVID-free Thanksgiving. Please take care of yourselves out there. Remember to wash your hands. And be safe out there. Thank you for giving us a listen.
Hey everyone, thank you for checking out this week's episode of the Pint Pals podcast. If you want to support the podcast in other ways, be sure to check out our Patreon at www.patreon.com/pintpals. If you choose to subscribe monthly, you can receive access to special videos, private Snapchats, discounted merch, as well as being toasted during each episode. And as always, subscribing to our Patreon is always appreciated but never expected. Thank you. We'll see you in the next episode.